Okay, ready when you're
Okay.
ready.
All right. Good evening and welcome to the Conservation Commission meeting for Monday, July 12th, 2021. This is remote and in person. The time is 7:03 and I'm going to recuse myself for this portion of the meeting, and Katie Grace will take over under discussion number 5, Shore Road washout. And then someone can come and get me.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you.
All right, so the first item of discussion, it's listed as number 5, but we're going to discuss it first. It's an urgent topic, is the Shore Road washout. Wait, do I have Steve even? All right.
Did Art say he was missing
Art's
today?
going to be out tonight, yes, correct. All right.
Yeah, where is Steve? Steve was in here.
Hello?
He zoomed in.
There you go. All right, Steve, we're going to talk about the first issue, which is the Shore Road washouts. My understanding is we have a signed emergency order, but we need to make sure we know who's doing the work and when that work is getting completed.
He's here.
Yeah, so last Tuesday, the commission issued an emergency order for the landowners. They were under the request of a few of the landowners. They requested an emergency order, so that was issued by the Conservation Commission. And subsequently, there was, the heavy rains we had over the last week or so. So there was a lot of emails going back and forth. There was a lot of people involved in the issue down there. The order still stands for I believe for the landowners to go ahead and do the work. I don't believe that has happened to date, unless they did it this afternoon. And along with that, I believe there was a site walk. There was town highway department was down there. I was down there. I think the owner of the solar farm got involved. I did take some videos during the height of the storm or right before the storm ended of the detention ponds. That was a pre-planned site walk. And so I posted that link on the OneDrive. I think everyone also had a copy of that. So that's where we stand with the Conservation Commission. They did give permission to go ahead and repair that culvert.
Okay. Do we know if anyone is contracted to do that work?
Sorry, it's Lawrence Cook from AMP. I'd reached out to Steve and John at the DPW because I want to know, because the pipe itself obviously covers the road, one landowner's property and another landowner's property. The blockage has been identified on the other side of the road to the landowner that I'm talking with. So I wanted to find out, in terms of responsibility, whether it would be the landowner where the culvert is or the landowner where the blockage is.
Okay.
That would be the responsible party to clean this up. So I'm yet to receive a response on that.
Understood. Lawrence, I know you said it rather quickly. Can you again identify who you represent?
Yeah, my name is Lawrence Cook. I work for AMP Solar. We've got the solar farm there. Mm-hmm. I'm working with the landowners of the larger parcel to assist them in getting the work coordinated. But obviously, I would have thought their demarcation ends at the midpoint of the road. So we'd need to know whether we'd need to involve the landowner on the other side of the road for the repair, as the blockage is on their side. And that's only one side of the blockage. The blockage could then go down through their land to the lake itself. So I think there's before any work is authorised, we kind of need to just set out where people's responsibility ends.
Okay. So you're saying it's not, you don't believe it's on the side of the solar farm because it is on the opposite side of the road?
The blockage in that pipe is on the other side of the road. I ran a snake up the pipe to check the length to where the blockage is, mm-hmm. and the blockage was on the other side of the road. Okay. My suspicion is, and the other complicating factor is obviously that road was repaired. I'm not sure quite when, but maybe a year or two ago, where you had a sinkhole. I'd need to know details of what was repaired there, because it could have just been that the people that did that repair didn't do the coupling correct, where it transitions from the PVC pipe to the concrete pipe, and that's what's causing the problem. So I've got a subcontractor that's lined up that can perform the work, but obviously I don't want to get them involved if I can't authorize them or the responsibility of clearing the blockage and repairing the pipe on the other neighbour's land is going to fall on them rather than us. So it needs to be a coordinated response.
Okay. Do we have representation from the neighbor on the opposite side of the street?
We have a neighbor down the other end of the street.
Okay, could you name and address, and then, I mean, this is an open discussion, so.
Virginia Santoyan, 135 Shore Road.
Mm-hmm.
I am getting major water
Okay.
coming down from I'm assuming it's the solar farm, rushing down underneath my house into my basement and backyard.
Mm-hmm.
This has never happened before.
Okay.
I've owned the house since, I've owned the house since 1960, and I've never had an issue with this water coming down into my basement.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have mold.
Yep.
And I've been pumping my basement out since July 2nd.
Okay.
So
Do you have any, oh, sorry. Yep.
I don't know if this is related with the pipe also, with her pipe, and then the solar farm, but there is a tremendous amount of water still coming in as we speak.
Yeah, no, and do you have any ownership of the roadway?
Do I have what?
Do you own the roadway or any part thereof?
No.
Okay.
Excuse me, I don't know how to raise my hand, but can I?
Yes, yeah, name and address, Jean.
My name's Gina Lawrence, and I own the property at 119 Shore Road, which is next to the property at 117, which has now a rushing stream bed through the yard. Very serious, very urgent. I would like to know from Mr. Cook, just to clarify, is it that the solar farm is willing to help repair this, but you're still trying to get cooperation from the landowners on both sides? Or can you explain what it is that you need? Because I would think that anyone would want to see this fixed right away. It's doing damage, and the historic flow of the water has now been diverted and really hurting my neighbor and my house to some degree. So can you clarify if what the holdup is? I appreciate your efforts. I just want to say that. I appreciate the efforts of the town. But what is it you need, and how can we get it?
Thank you, Jean.
Do you mind if I respond to that?
I would like you to, yes, please.
That was a question to the Conservation Commission. Do you mind if I respond to that directly?
The answer is yes, I would like you to respond to that.
Okay, so when I was out on site, I ran a snake up the pipe to see where the blockage was. And the blockage is on the east side of the road by the entrance way to, I think it's Millerberty. I'm trying to assist the landowners, the Van Reeds, on coordinating a repair if the responsibility lies with them. The issue is obviously if the blockage is on the other side of the road, is the responsibility on the landowner that's on the opposite side of the road? Does the demarcation end in the middle of the road, in which case the millers will need to have an input? And then secondary to that, if the blockage goes down through the miller's property, because I've only got one side of it, there's obviously going to be another side of it. I can't obviously authorise any work to go ahead on the miller's property to do that repair. So there needs to be a coordinated response between the Van Reeds and the millers about getting this done. Yeah, I don't think it's a single party to resolve this.
All right.
Does that clarify it?
Yep. Does that clarify it for you as well, Jean?
I think so. It sounds like Mr. Von Reed is okay with doing it, but I just wonder, are the Millers here and could they comment, like, don't they want to get this pipe fixed?
Right, so.
Could they just say okay, or?
Yep, so that's what we're gonna work towards doing.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so then that's the first time I've heard the property owners named. I wasn't sure. Steve, does that sound concurrent with your understanding of who the property owners are in that location?
I could not speak to that. I'm not sure, because it's a private way, what the laws of that would be, but I'll take, I'm not too, I could not answer that.
So,
I'd like to hear from the property owner across the street, because they've kind of put a berm up in front of their yard, the house that's under construction, to kind of keep all the water from moving across the street. And so I'd like to hear from the property owner across the street as to, you know, how they feel about the situation and what they're doing to try to help.
all right, I want to do that. Just quickly before that, I just want to clarify that from the town's perspective, we don't have a clear understanding of who the ownership of that road belongs to. For as well as we know, it could collectively belong to all the neighbors on Shore Road.
Why would anybody not want the situation fixed? Like, that's hard to understand.
Understood.
If Mr. Cook is trying to, like, if I understand, are you saying
Yeah.
the responsibility, you mean who pays for it? Or,
I'm asking Steve about ownership, but I can
Oh, I'm
come
sorry.
around to that as well.
yeah.
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know the particulars, you know.
Okay,
That's a question for town council.
for sure. All right, so then.
It is a private road.
It's a private road, it doesn't belong to the town. All right, that being said, yeah, I would like to hear from the owner across the street. My understanding that's Van Reed? Miller? We don't have any representation from the Millers at
I
the,
think he needs to talk first about the pipe. The pipe is broken closer to
I'm sorry, name and address?
Diane Miller from 115 Shore Road.
Okay,
When they came down and put a snake through, the pipe is broken where the wetlands are 4 feet in.
okay,
That's where it collapsed. It's a steel pipe. It's totally disintegrated. The pipe needs to be replaced from the wetlands over. There's nothing wrong with the cement pipe going down from there. There has a berm been on that property since the day we started construction because that's required to make sure that the land is preserved and there's no erosion, there's no problem. That's been there for years.
Okay?
That's why that is there, because we cannot have runoff of any kind that's required. And that's been solid and that's been okay. And Steve can attest to that. This problem with the pipe was working fine, and then we were gone for 4 months and came back, and there was a problem with the pipe. And when he came and put the snake through, it's way on the wetland side, but I know there's a big 4-foot section that's collapsed. It's a metal pipe. You can crush it with your hands.
okay.
All right, and when it hits the property on the other side, it's a solid concrete pipe, and that goes down to the lake. There's nothing wrong with that. It hasn't been touched, it's been preserved the whole time. It's a pipe across the road, and I think it's 3 or 4 feet down.
Okay.
And I think Cliff can attest to it's got to be fixed.
Yeah, no, I think we're all in agreement that
That's
it needs to be
part of the problem,
fixed.
Besides the runoff coming down the hill, but that's part of the problem. Our cellar had 5 inches of water in it.
I understand, okay,
Lots
Yeah,
of cellars
I mean,
in town,
that's a
though,
lot
have
of
lots of
water.
water in their cells right now.
for sure.
Yeah.
This is a
And
very high flow
just
event,
that.
and we have a broken pipe underneath this street, and it's
Yes.
causing a lot of issues for, it sounds like, everybody on Shore Road.
Yes.
We don't know whose responsibility it is to fix this because we don't know who owns this road or the land underneath it.
Henry, you want to tell them?
Not gonna get involved in this.
I'm Cliff Van Reed, Douglas Properties.
Hi, Cliff.
Hi. And it's been impossible to even do anything with that pipe up till now. I was just out there at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and the water is up to the street level. It's above the pipe.
Okay.
Until it dissipates or gets pumped down, if you tried to dig that pipe out now, you'd have a tremendous flow of water. You know, it'd be dangerous. Tremendous flow of water running down toward the lake. That's not what anybody wants.
Whose responsibility do you think it is to replace that culvert, the pipe?
Well, we're willing to work with the town. And I've talked with Mr. Furno.
Okay.
And he, unless he's given an okay by the town administrator, we would pay for the cost. I'm Douglas Property. And we just need the contractor to do the work. We've had a tough time getting a contractor. John would do the work. We're supposed to, as I understand from John this afternoon, we're supposed to have a meeting with the town administrator sometime this week to, just pinpoint who's going to do the work.
Okay. Do you have a plan? Do you have an engineered plan to do that work?
No, it's removing an old culvert and putting in a new culvert. It really doesn't require a plan.
Steve, do you think that a project like this would require a plan?
Say that again?
Do we need a plan for the culvert replacement?
Well, it depends on if they're doing an emergency repair and repairing it to its pre-existing conditions. I mean, I think that was the intent of the.
Okay, okay,
Which they certainly can do.
all right.
And then they can always come back and submit they should file a notice of intent after the fact.
Yeah.
Point of emergency, they get the repairs done ASAP, alleviate the problem. And if there's still a problem, they can certainly come back with the notice of intent, and if they want to have a better engineering design, do that with the notice of intent. But the whole purpose of the emergency
order
was to alleviate the problem, because obviously it was plugged. And Mr. Cook has indicated that was to alleviate that blockage.
Okay.
Where is the culvert?
It's on Shore Road.
No, is it on the woodland side of Shore Road, or is it on the,
Across the Shore
Lake.
Road from the woodland side to the lake.
so the pipe goes
Under the road.
under the road through this?
All right, 5 more minutes, and then Amelia, you need to run home because our dinner's here, okay?
I'm sorry, if you could be on mute unless you're participating in the meeting. Okay, so Douglas Properties is willing to pay for the cost. You're having difficulties lining up a contractor?
Well, there's a couple of issues, yeah. The contractors they're concerned, well, a few of them we've called, they're just flat too busy. They've got jobs ahead of them, and they can't take this on. And one that actually lives just down the street there on Shore Road would do the work. He's a contractor.
Excuse me, could you speak up a little? I think at least some of us are having trouble hearing.
Yeah, well, there's a contractor just down the street.
Mm-hmm.
He also has some water in his basement, and he's willing to do the work.
Can you have them come to the table where the mics are?
Cliff, they can't hear you.
It's okay.
Absolutely, thank you.
But he's concerned about who owns the street,
Who owns the what?
who owns the road, and he doesn't want any liability. He just has a concern before he starts digging in a private road.
Okay. And it sounds like Lawrence Cook has that concern as well. And from the town's perspective, the town doesn't own the street, and we're not sure who owns the street either.
Yeah.
But wouldn't everyone want to fix the pipe?
Right, it sounds like we're having difficulty finding a contractor. Lawrence, just to pull you back in briefly, did you say you had somebody to do the work? Or?
So I have 2 subcontractors lined up that are available to carry out repair. What I do lack is information.
Okay.
I know that the part of it is a concrete pipe, and I know that the bit that I can see on the wetland side is a PVC. But there's obviously a transition from one to the other. I thought I heard somebody talk about the fact that there's a steel pipe in there as well. So I guess the solution would be that we excavate up until the concrete pipe and then do the transition. But then the question on that is that the Van Reeds only are obviously on one side and I think would go up to the centre line. And then the people on the other side of the road, who I believe are the Millers, would have to take the responsibility over it from that half of it. So there would be some kind of cost sharing analysis that would need to be done. We also don't know the extent of the blockage. I can only find one side from the side of the wetland. So I know that it's probably about 8 feet from where the front of the pipe is, which takes it to 2 foot off the edge of the other side of the road. But I don't know how far that blockage goes down. That blockage could be further down the concrete pipe, so we might have to continue excavating further. And I understand that everybody wants to get this resolved, but I also don't think that people want a trench in the street, which has to stop without being resolved, without having some form of plan for being able to go down, and if the issue extends beyond the concrete pipe onto the Miller's property, because regardless of what the Van Reeds do and what we want to do, we don't have any authorization to be able to go on private residence and start excavating.
I understand that.
Yeah, so there are a couple of issues with that. The other complicating factor is, I don't know if you were on the email, but I sent the email chains that were going around on Friday. The bulk of the water that's coming down there is coming down from a culvert on Birch Hill Road, down between our solar farm and the residences on Birch Hill Road, and then it's going down to the bottom, and that's where the water's all coming from and spreading. So the amount of water that I witnessed coming out of that culvert on the Friday would be far in excess of what could be handled by the current 6 or 8 inch pipe that's in there at the moment. So even if that pipe is fixed, the amount of water that's getting down there is probably too much for what's there at the moment.
And it's also coming down in the middle of 135 Shore Road where I live.
Okay.
And it's also coming down at 117 Shore Road where my mother, Madeline Myers, lives.
Yes,
sorry.
Both neighbors. So this water is not only from the pipe, it's from the solar farm is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Coming all the way down and flooding out me and my both neighbors.
Okay, I need an identification from Evangeline.
Yeah, hi, this is Evangeline Sutter. I live with my mother at 117 Shore Road.
Okay.
Her name is Madeline Myers.
Thank you.
You know, and she has had extensive damage in her yard due to the water diversion.
Yep.
You know, I grew up at Wallam Lake. I remember a pipe running through what was Christy Christo's yard at the time, you know, going underneath the street. We used to put toys through it and watch it run out, you know, and that used to handle all of the water, all of the rainfall. That pipe has got to be blocked, or, you know, as Lawrence has been so eloquently and perfectly saying, you know, and as Jeannie has emphasized, I can't understand why anybody wouldn't want to get this fixed, because it's causing so many problems for everyone who lives on Shore Road.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I speak for a moment?
A name and address.
Yeah, my name's Greg Bentley. I'm a civil engineer. I've looked at the thing, and I'm just going to offer some advice. First of all, the Miller's site plan clearly shows an existing 12-inch, not 6 or 8, but 12-inch reinforced concrete pipe that traverses from the outlet of the wetland area on the east side of the road, goes across the road, and goes directly down through the property towards very close to the lake. That's the pipe in question. There's no question that that's the historic watercourse through this area, draining the area, and that pipe is now not functioning at all. Accordingly, the water has taken a right turn, left turn at the culvert entrance and gone down across towards the beach, and is inundating both it's going overland in various locations. It's going right across at the culvert, but there was a dam constructed in front of the Miller property that got Madeline's property and is getting the rest of the properties in the area. It's also gone down and created pooling across from other properties and is surcharged the already full groundwater. And by the way, this all occurred before the 4th of July floods. So it's gotten much worse over the last few days, and we know we're in historic rain here, but this was a problem that was already coming about. That historic water path needs to be restored immediately to full capacity. And I hope that we're going to keep the outlet elevation at the same elevation and not impact that wetland that exists on the east side of the road. And once we get back to par, then we can see whether anything up the hill on the east side is causing additional problems. I've also seen the videos of the solar farm stormwater retention complex, and it's in complete failure as of those videos. So I hope that that's going to be restored. We're thrilled that Mr. Cook and the company is willing to come in and help with this situation. But the bottom line is that 12-inch RCP's got to get restored, and it's got to get restored immediately. And there's continuing and ongoing damage to a multitude of people on the other side of the road now. So that's what we need to facilitate.
Understood.
Sorry to interject there. You referenced a plan there that detailed the pipe. One of the things that I'm struggling with is the fact that I've got no information, and excuse me, I was waist deep in water running the snake through, so I was only going by what I could feel for the pipe, so I couldn't see it. So if you've got any plans of what we'd be connecting into, that would be useful to work on what needs to happen in the road.
Yeah, I have an image of what purports to be perhaps the site plan for the Miller property, and it clearly shows it as an existing 12-inch RCP, a straight shot, no less. Okay. Should be fairly easy. It's obviously been altered under the road or at the opening with the BBC and so forth, but I've been observing that pipe for years. It flowed perfectly, and it's not flowing now. Okay. So that's why everybody's getting flooded, at least for the first few houses off to the side.
Understood.
That pipe is definitely blocked. 100%. Very little. Is
right. If we can't get through the blockage, if I understood you, Lawrence, you're telling me that it's a couple of feet into maybe the edge of the roadway on the west side of the road, on the lake side of the road.
Correct.
If that's correct, if we can't get in there, I wonder if it's anybody's got the authority to get to the outlet end, which is right down by the lake, and snake it from below and see what's going on. All right. But there's certainly that construction's been going on for a number of years, and somebody knows what's going on with that pipe on that property. We need to get them on board and willing right away.
All right.
Yeah, I did try and
Lawrence, can I just
from the Miller side when
gentlemen, can I interject for a moment, please?
May I speak to that, please?
I would like to regain control of this meeting. First of all, Lawrence, I thank you. I appreciate that you're looking for plans. Greg, could you please share your plans, what information you have with our conservation agent if we don't already have that? Lawrence, I'm going to let you continue, and then the next person who wanted to interject can come in with name and address. Go ahead, Lawrence. You're on.
Sorry, just had to take myself off mute.
Yep.
I did, a month or so back, I did I did, when we first had an issue, I did try and find the outlet to the pipe, but I wasn't allowed on the miller's property. So if anyone can put me in contact with them, I'll gladly go and snake it from the other side and see what I can do there.
Okay.
The other thing I want to raise as well is obviously the complicating factor is that the Myers property at 117, the driveway there is a complete washout and the yard and things like that. So part of this fix also needs to resolve that as well, because
Okay.
The berm that runs in front of the millers and everything is the cause of why that water's being transitioned there from where it previously would have run.
Understood.
So we want to make sure that that's all included as well.
Okay, next person. Thank you, Lawrence.
May I speak?
Yes, name and address.
I'm Mike Narducci, 121 Shore Road.
Yep. Thank you.
I've been there for close to 50 years, and that thing has never caused a problem at my house or at any of the neighbor's house. Precisely what happened, the pipe broke, the water's flowing over the street, and it's just spreading throughout the whole area.
Yep.
And the ground can't take it. Now, we should be able to just fix where supposedly it's broken. Now, my understanding is there's concrete pipe, metal pipe, and a PVC pipe. Now, I saw a piece of the pipe that broke, which was pretty well deteriorated metal pipe. And I think that's where the problem is. Now, I know for a fact that halfway down on the miller's property, there were some concrete pipes there, but I helped them put a PVC pipe in there to make sure everything was working fine, because some of the concrete pipes were broken. So we replaced that, but again, we didn't go that far towards the street to really know where the metal pipe started and where it started to deteriorate. It's really a simple fix, but I think it's a simple fix to fix the problem that's at hand right now, but it's like putting a Band-Aid on this problem.
Understood.
I think the realistic thing we should do, okay, we should replace the whole pipe and have it engineered out so it could take whatever water is coming down from the hill and so forth, and if the solar farm is contributing to the pipe, then we should size the pipe accordingly so it'll take care of all that. The 12-inch pipe has not been a problem all these years.
Understood.
Fine. But the other problem with that is I don't think there's a recorded easement for that pipe. I believe the homeowner, the previous homeowner there, just put it in there because he was having a problem. I think he had a recorded easement from the millers and replace the whole pipe and do it right. And then at the other end, on the east side there, put some kind of a manhole or something that will filter the water or something along that line. I mean, I know that's going to take a longer time and all that, but I really feel like we're just putting a Band-Aid because we don't know how much of that metal pipe is going to rot away in a few weeks.
Next.
Again,
Yeah.
you know?
No, I understood. So,
Let's
go ahead.
have a temporary fix for now, but I really think we should do it properly. And if we get an easement and so forth, then we can turn it over to the town, and if there's a problem there, 10, 20, 30 years from now, they can go there and have a right to fix whatever the problem may be.
Those all sound like great ideas, and I appreciate you sharing those. The problem is right now what we have in place is an emergency order to just do the fix that's at hand.
Let's fix the temporary thing for now.
Yep.
And worry about being able to do it right.
And I don't want to sound unkind to anyone who's participating in this forum. I understand there's a lot of water, and I understand there's a lot of frustration. What I need is to know who's going to fix the pipe and when. And my understanding is Lawrence Cook has some contractors who can do the work. The things that we need, I guess, Cliff, you've not had contact with Lawrence Cook, has contractors lined up to do the work, and they need permission to access the miller's property. So those are the two things that I am looking for.
But can he tell me how far the stake went in? How many left the pipe it would be necessary to fix where the first blockage is? I don't know if there's another one.
They're going to have to start excavating before they find out and know exactly how far they're going to have to go. They also have to make sure that they're getting to the RCP. It sounds like through the fixes that have been made, the pipe may have been made smaller. They might have jammed smaller pipe into the 12-inch pipe. So it needs to go, like you say, but you got to start digging before you're going to know exactly how far you have to go.
Understood. The goal here is for, yep.
Some kind of a field when he put the stake through there, right?
Yep.
It was 8 feet from the edge of the pipe, so it was about 2 feet off the Miller's property is where the snake box is.
I'm sorry, did the snake reach the Miller's property or was it still on the roadway?
It was still in the roadway, but it's about 2 feet. It was about 2 feet off the edge of their property. It was on that side of the roadway.
Real quick, where are you assuming? I'm sorry, Mr. Narducci, I've let you share, and I kind of want to get back to the meat of the meeting.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Lawrence, for the sake of this discussion, where are you assuming the edge of the Miller's property is?
Where they have the fence up.
Okay, thank you. All right, so yes, two things. Yes.
Virginia Santoyan, 135 Shore Road.
Yep.
I believe my water damage and my neighbors on my end has nothing to do with the pipe.
Interesting, okay.
It's all coming down the hill and rushing down my backyard and both my neighbors' yards. I have videos. This rain started July 2nd, and I've been pumping water out of my basement ever since. I now have mold. I don't know what I need to do at this point because our end is not the pipe.
Okay.
Our end, I believe, is the solar farm. Lawrence was very nice to have me and my boyfriend go up and look at the solar farm. And we saw everything that was going on. We didn't see the other side of the solar farm where I have pictures of the water rushing down right out of the solar farm. Mm-hmm. So something needs to be done. I'm glad you guys are working on the pipe, and that is amazing because that needs to be fixed. But now we have another issue on the other end.
Okay.
And I've been here, my house was built in 1960. My grandfather, I got this handed down to me, and I've never, ever seen this happen. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I had mold. I am pumping water out of my basement. My yard is full, and I have a river running underneath my house. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what needs to be done about that.
Okay.
But something needs to be done sooner than later. I know you're working on that pipe. I think I might need to be in the agenda ASAP with that also, because it's not just me, it's the other houses surrounding me also.
Okay. All right, no, I think that's important.
Can I respond to that?
Just before, well, actually, can a moment, before Lawrence responds to that, I would like, Steve, can you tell, I'm sorry, Virginia, what her next course of action would be to get on the agenda for that issue with, what is the next process piece for her?
Regarding
She's got water damage that she does not think is related to this pipe issue that we're discussing right now. I'd really like to get back to resolving this pipe issue. What is the next course of action for her?
I believe it's directly related to the solar farm.
Well, it has to do with this, there's the permitting authority is planning board with the stormwater management, along with the conservation, so it's kind of a quasi boards. I mean, the original design of the solar farm wasn't in front of the Conservation Commission because that just solely went in front of the planning board. Commission got kind of brought into the solar farm project when they wanted to clear some trees along the eastern side because of shading.
Some trees?
I did clear some trees.
Additional trees because of, for shading, and then when that happened, they filed a notice of intent, but the stormwater management plan was already approved and designed by the town engineer and the planning board, so we might.
To my knowledge, they cleared 25 acres of.
It was additional trees. They came in front to clear some additional trees after.
Over and above.
Yep.
Over and above, just because of dating along some of the solar canopy panels on the, I guess, the southern side. And when they did that, they changed a little bit where they were clearing those trees. They filed the stormwater management with the commission for those additional changes. But
Yeah.
the bulk of the stormwater management, I believe, was approved by the planning board. They also have a special permitting authority over the project also.
Okay, so I need to get in touch with the planning board, because whatever they didn't approve, it's not working.
I would say you can get in touch with both boards. You can send a letter, request to be on the next commission, and the commission can certainly ask for some information regarding the stormwater management if it's functioning properly. But I believe that the planning board has, they also have a lot of authority because of the special permitting granting authority over the project.
Okay, so my course of action is the planning board.
Yep, and this commission as well.
You can do it in conjunction if you like, but I think the planning board has a little bit more authority over it because they're the original permitting authority.
Okay, so, I'm sorry.
I think it was their staff and their outside consultants that might have reviewed the stormwater in conjunction with the solar farms engineers.
Okay, so it's the planning board and who else?
This board.
Conservation Commission.
Which is you guys?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm here now.
Understood.
So I need to start with the planning board, and they're gonna get in touch with you to fix this as soon as possible, because it's getting worse.
Understood.
In my house, what am I supposed to do?
And this board as well, and we will address it. We're gonna need more information. We'll put it on the agenda. We will talk about it.
So there should be, the process, and with the planning board, more probably with our board, I'm not sure if they're going to ask for an as-built. They're still in the construction phase of the project.
Right.
Where, typically there's a proposed plan, and then there's how the plan was built, which they call as-built. Was the plan built as it was planned? So typically, you would see those two plans overlay on each other and with calculations and make sure that it was built according to the design. And that's something that eventually would happen. Hope we can maybe have the engineers look at what has been built and this, to this point to make sure it's functioning correctly.
Okay, so what happens if they go through that and it is built the way it was designed, and it's still not working? Will they be able to fix the problem?
I guess we'll have to take a look at the information they submit at the time.
Okay, and can I go right to the town hall, the planning board, and get this done tomorrow? Because if the more rain comes in, if it's gonna rain again, my house is flooding again.
Yep.
Yeah,
and it's gonna keep happening, and
I'm not sure. Yeah, right. The town engineer left and their staff. I would come in and talk to the staff and the community development. I think she works on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Requesting to be on. You can request through her in the building. Coming to the building department, request that you want to be on the planning board agenda.
Planning board agenda. So this is gonna take a little while for me to get anything done, is what you're saying?
Right.
They probably do this once a month?
Once or twice, yep.
Once or twice. Okay, so the more rain I get, the more this is going to happen, and I just have to wait and go to the planning board, is what you're saying?
Well, you're in front of the commission now, so they might.
Okay. I'd like to get this pushed through as soon as I can. I mean, the house is gonna be totally not livable if this keeps going.
I understand.
May I jump in on that?
Who is me?
I'm sorry. No, Mr. Narducci, I was going to let Mr. Lawrence respond first. Mr. Narducci, what is your stake on this property?
Was that to me?
I was going to let you respond first, Lawrence.
I just wanted to let that particular landowner know that we've been discussing with the engineers things that we can do to alleviate the issue. Obviously, the design of the basins there is to restrict the outflow rather than hold the water. What we're going to do as an interim fix is we're going to block the lower pipe from that so that we end up pooling or containing a lot more of the water on site. So that that would massively reduce any of the outflow that goes into that wetland and then obviously down through the wetland onto that property. We are also looking at some other things that we can do to try and hold some of the water further up into the solar farm, whether that's changing the way that the silt fence are, because obviously we've got a silt fence running the entire way around the site. And what that means is it's diverting every single bit of water around to that lower point of the site. So we're looking at whether we can put some additional fencing in up there to hold some of the water back and have some infiltration so that we give a more immediate relief in the case that there's another bit of rainfall. And again, going back to what I mentioned previously, coming from the culvert from Birch Hill, I spent a lot of time walking through that woodland that's between our solar farm and Shore Road, and there was water all the way through it. I think the two are linked based on the amount of water that's going over. That there was water coming from our solar farm. There's water that falls into that wetland. There's water that came down the south side of the property, and there's this huge amount of water that's coming in from the culvert from Birch Hill Road. All of that combines in that area, and it spreads all the way through that woodland there as well. So we'll do what we can to reduce the amount of water that we're contributing, but there is still a significant amount coming from an area that we don't control, which is also coming into our site off the road there as well. So there is that as well.
Thank you very much, Florence. At least you're trying to do something, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I mentioned to you when I was there, you get my contact details off your neighbour, or I can send you a direct message now. The boards do move either once or twice a month. I understand the urgency, I understand the frustration. So get in contact with me. I will keep you in the loop with all the efforts that we are doing, because I'm sure one of the most concerning things is the fact that you're not having any sight of what's happening. So get my contact details. Let's get a direct communication from me so that we can discuss what's happening as well. Because I'll need some input from you about the measures that we take on site and whether they're having an impact on alleviating that for you. And just one other thing on the additional clearance that we asked from the Conservation Commission. I don't know, Steve, if you remember, but after we flagged the trees out, you were concerned that the number of trees that were coming down was in excess of what you envisioned, and we stopped all work at that point. So those additional trees didn't come down to the extent that we applied for and had permission. So some additional trees did come down within the 100-foot buffer, but we didn't go any closer than that.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess my point was that originally the project was 100% outside the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission, so I think it was
correct.
Permitted and approved, and all the heavy lifting was done by the
planning board. Yeah.
So when you came in for a little bit of shade clearing of those minor, some slight trees along that left side of the property or the Rhode Island side of the property, it modified the ponds slightly, but all that work was already done through the planning board. So they have a lot of the bulk and a lot of the review went through them. And I guess just in point, trying to, coordinate this over the last couple of weeks. I was trying to pull in as many people as possible into the thread, the chain email thread, just to keep everyone into the loop. And, there were some side emails going back and forth, but any information, I don't mind if we can just giving it to everybody and letting everybody see what is going on, just so everyone can stay informed. Because, with that group email, that's up to you if you want to continue to do that, but that would be my practice.
I'm perfectly happy to share all the information and findings that we have. My experience with the butters and neighbours is the lack of information is sometimes what causes most of the concerns. So I'm happy to make sure that they're fully up to date as easy as possible with that.
And with certain town officials that you've met out on site and stuff, our authority is limited. I know we go out there, and a couple other people are out there, but that's why we have these boards and committees, and we'll try to facilitate and try to direct you, to the proper people as quickly as possible. So I hope there's a solution quicker, sooner than later.
Okay. All right. With that being stated, I'm going to get back to the pipe under the road again. My goal here, again, being the two outstanding issues from my perspective is access to the Miller's property to look at the pipe on that end. The only representative from the Millers that we have, would you be amenable to having an engineer snake the pipe?
Pipe is underwater, it's under the lake.
My understanding is so is Lawrence.
It's what?
That the engineer was also in the water when having to snake the pipe.
Say that again?
That the person looking at the pipe was also in the water.
He was in the wetlands.
Okay.
There's a 4-foot section of a metal pipe. There's a small piece of that blue pipe on that end. Then there's a metal pipe in the middle, and it goes into the concrete pipe.
Mm-hmm.
It's been fixed several times, and it's been band-aided. What needs to be done is we need a pipe going from the wetlands over with a 1% pitch, and then it goes down into the cement pipe. So you need a 22 or 45 to go down, and then it goes down to the lake. It's almost level over the road, under the road.
Okay.
We've seen it, the highway department's seen it. It's the original metal pipe. That went all the way down to the lake, and at one time, they put all those cement pipes down to the lake, but they never fixed under the road.
Mm-hmm.
And there's huge cement pipes going all the way down, and there's nothing wrong with those. Those were working until the road where the metal pipe was started to collapse, and it's been collapsing over the years. It finally hit its life expectancy, and you could actually take the pipe and just crush it in your hands. That's how corroded it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's right across the road, but it has to be pitched like at a 1% so that it slowly goes down before it hits the cement pipe into the lake. And that's an easy fix. That's a 3-hour fix. It's 2 sections of pipe and a connection. And you, sir, know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. It's a simple connection. Simple fix. It needs to be fixed. It's causing too much water problems.
Okay.
And our property was almost at the road level. Now it's been eroded so much. You've got this weird-looking incline. I can't even park in front of my house. It's been eroded so much.
Okay.
Well, if work has to extend into your property, or would
No, it's
you
right
give
at the gate.
would
It's
you
right-
give
right
permission
here.
to somebody
It's
to
right
work?
there at the gate.
Okay, I don't know your property. I don't know
Okay,
where things are, so I'm just asking if work needs to extend into your property, would you give permission to do that?
We will address that, yeah, but I don't believe that has to happen.
Well,
Okay.
you seem
Because
to be-
I'm daring
you seem
the,
to be in the know about the pipe more so than everybody else. So.
I've seen the pipe.
But, you know,
my understanding is Lawrence,
And on the property.
we're all here guessing.
we're looking for more information and you have that. And I appreciate that. You're the only one who knows these things and we need your help.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm
You seem to
asking,
be
can we have
not
access to your property,
This
to your
is
information?
the first time we've been approached by Lawrence. This is the first time.
Okay,
We've been trying for almost 3 months to get that pipe replaced.
okay. Excellent. So you'd like to work with,
We know it has to be done. It's gonna solve the problem there,
okay,
but, I guess Lawrence is gonna do it with Cliff. Or Lawrence is gonna do it with,
well, otherwise, are you volunteering to share costs this work?
to share costs.
Yeah,
No, I've gotta think about that one.
okay. Understood. All right, so Cliff, you had said that Douglas Properties would be willing to pay for the emergency construction on that pipe, but you struggled to find a contractor.
Yeah, and I'm talking, we're willing to pay, but it's just for the pipe only.
Yep. At this point, all we know is that it's a simple fix on that pipe.
Yeah, it's replacement of the pipe,
Yep,
all the way across the road.
yep.
RCP pipe or with another metal or
No, it can't
HDPE
be
pipe?
metal. It's gonna be that,
No, we don't use metal anymore, but HDPE would be another possible fix. But the connection is what I'm most concerned about, is where it connects into the RCP. Obviously, it'd be better if it was RCP again.
Well, the RCP is going to give you cover. You know, if there's not enough cover to drive over it, RCP probably has a little bit more strength.
Correct.
All right, so then, Lawrence, you said that you had a potential contractors lined up who would be willing to do this work.
Yes, I do. But as I said, the issue becomes how far across the road can we go. As I said, I want to make sure that we're not doing anything. I know that the owner of the Millers have been litigious, and I obviously don't want to put ourselves in a position where we're opening ourselves up to any claims or anything from them by going onto any land that they perceive that they own or have responsibility for. So that's the complicating factor at this point.
So my understanding is that you and the Millers haven't talked to each other prior to this.
I spoke to someone I believe was Mrs. Miller when I was there on Friday. She seemed fully aware that the pipe was blocked on her side of the road.
it's blocked, big section of the road, yeah.
Did you get a chance to talk to Lawrence?
I don't know who he was.
Okay.
He was just measuring, and I says it's like a four-foot section of metal pipe that's collapsed.
Okay.
But it can't be done until the water is completely down, and then it's a 3 or 4 hour job. You can't do it with any water on the other side.
Well, they might be able to set up a little coffer dam, berm it back, pump it out on that side.
2 days ago, it was totally dry.
Pardon?
2 days ago, it was totally dry. You know, and if we don't get...
Okay, I didn't have an emergency order in front of me until this started flowing, because we called this out at the last Conservation Commission meeting. We said that this pipe was blocked. We asked if the residents of Shore Road were willing to fix it, and we got a no. And so we didn't have this, as far as the Conservation Commission is involved, we weren't asked to do an emergency order until there was an emergency.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
So we definitely recommended fixing this in the past.
Pitch in and with Cliff, and I mean, that's not a problem either. If they want to pitch in and just help pay for the price of the pipe and pay for the repair.
Well, it sounds like that's not the case. It's my understanding, and I just want to make sure that we have permission from you specifically, because your land is either abutting the damage or includes that damage, for whichever contractor we choose to do that work, and I want to make sure we can get a contractor to do that work. Cliff, would you be amenable to working with Lawrence to procure a contractor to do the work?
Well, of course, that's what we've been talking about.
Okay. So is there a reason that you haven't selected one to do the work yet?
He said they're not available.
No, I told you earlier that I contacted other contractors, and 2 of them were just too busy. And as Mr. Narducci is another contractor, but he had some concerns about digging, as he indicated when he spoke with you.
Yeah. No, and I understand, and I can't help you resolve your property issues at this point.
Well,
From the town perspective, it does not belong to the town. And so I can't tell you who owns any of this.
Could I interject? The easiest thing.
Yeah.
I think you've got was it Mrs. Miller that saw me fall in the pond on Friday?
Did you see him? You did what?
Yeah, I fell in the pond when I was trying to.
Okay.
Oh, you're the guy that fell in the pond with your phone in the air.
There you go. Okay. Now we understand the engineer that was underwater. Okay, great.
Can I give her my telephone number? Because one of the problems is I have no contact information for them.
Yep.
Can I give her my telephone number now so that we can discuss this tomorrow? Because the owners of that property have been the missing part. Because Cliff has been, I've got contact with and has been amenable to getting this done.
Okay.
As I said, the issue has been what happens if we need to go too far over.
Okay.
So I can pass my telephone number, and the neighbours who are also on the call here, if they want to take it down as well, if they've got any questions, concerns or anything, I'm happy to pass it out to them as well.
Okay.
Everyone ready? It is 717-376-5499.
Okay.
717-376-5499.
Right.
If she can give me a call tomorrow, I will get on the first thing with the contractors, and we'll see what we can do to get this going as soon as possible.
Okay. All right, so you do have do you have contractors lined up who would do this?
I have two contractors that I spoke to last week, because obviously it becomes a timing issue. If one of them is available before the other one, I want to make sure that I've got options. So I do have two contractors that I've been speaking to. I need to go through the full information with them, but at the moment, as I said, I couldn't say what to do once we got over to the other side of the road.
Okay.
Do you know what material you would use? Or do you need to investigate the pipe on the far side?
If there's a 12-inch concrete pipe on that point, the idea would be to excavate to that point and couple it with the concrete pipe there.
What did he say?
He wants to couple the new pipe to the concrete pipe that is there. Yes.
Sam, yeah, sound a little couple, right?
We asked what material would we use up to the concrete pipe.
Yes, that's what he answered.
I guess the idea would be to try and use concrete pipe going under the road. So
it would be all concrete pipe.
No, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Concrete pipe on the road's not a good idea.
Why are you recommending?
That heavy plastic pipe.
Why is that?
Not necessarily. If you don't get cover on heavy plastic, it will float up, and there's a lot of water coming through there. Plus, you need
Pipe
cover.
under the road's not very deep.
And that's why you would want to have concrete pipe and not a plastic pipe.
So you want to...
Can I jump in on this, please?
Sure.
Yes, Mr. Ducci, go ahead.
Listen, as far as I'm concerned, this is just a temporary fix. Whatever you can stick in there for now is okay. But you're going to have to eventually do the whole line.
I fully agree.
Now, I'm supporting Ginny there about her getting some water from the solar farm. Now, there's no way that she's getting any water, like she stated, from this overflow, because between my house and her house, there's no way the water can get from my house to her house because the elevation of the soil and so forth. So what we're getting from my house over, it's all groundwater that's seeping into the ground.
Yep.
She has a problem. But to go along with that, if she has a problem over there that she never had, I'm sure that the solar farm is probably creating a little bit of a problem where we are.
Yep.
Okay, so again, just get that pipe to fix the damn thing the way it is for now, and then get it engineered out, do it right, get an easement, and that way they don't have to worry about it for 20, 30 years.
Okay. So I appreciate all of that. I'm also keeping in mind that we have other agenda topics to cover tonight as a Conservation Commission. But before I move on from this topic, I am glad that we have what looks like a plan forward. We're going to get in contact. We're going to get a contractor to do this repair as soon as possible. I understand, I'm hearing a lot of complaints from various neighbors that have a lot of water that may or may not be related to this pipe. Again, I would encourage, if you have issues and you think that it's the solar farm in particular, that's something that you might want to get on the agenda for the planning board with, like we advised to the other neighbors. If there are other issues, I know, Lawrence, you called out a lot of water coming in from Birch Hill Road. that would be something that we would like to look into in the future, if we could get that. If we get a complaint about that water, we could put that on an agenda. The other item is that this is a temporary fix, and I agree that there's probably a lot more work that could be done in this area, or with the road. So if anyone, and I say anyone because again, from the town perspective, we don't have ownership of this road or any of the properties on it. If somebody wants to come put together a plan to do a more permanent fix, if the neighbors want to get together to do something like that, we would love to see an engineered plan with a more permanent fix, after this is in place, and we would love to review a plan like that. So I want to put all of those things out there, and we'd be happy to see you guys do whatever is best for your neighborhood. Do I have any other discussion items for Shore Road?
Yes, I would just like to comment. I appreciate all the people who are cooperating, and I hope that things get straightened out right away tomorrow, and we proceed. And I think it is right that whatever you're doing right now may be temporary, but we got to get it done because properties are being destroyed. So I just want to say that. And also, at some point, I don't know if it would be appropriate to have a meeting that's focused just on questions around what's happening on Shore Road, because I think Mr. Cook is very responsive. We appreciate that. And the more people understand, if we have a lot of questions, then we're not just left to rumors. So anyway, that's what I want to say. And one just last thought, which is the town, I know, doesn't own the road, but the town gives permission for projects on the road, like, off of the properties on the road.
Yep.
And if that permission that they give and the oversight they're supposed to have bears upon something that's going across the road, then it really is, it seems to me, your responsibility. And my understanding is, not totally your responsibility, but it should be within your purview to inspect construction and make sure it's being done right and things like that. Otherwise, why would you have boards that regulate all those things? So I just kind of want to convey, I don't want to drag the meeting on, but I think residents don't quite understand if you feel you have no purview over any of this when it's the town that gave permission for the things. Not the board over, but just with the whole picture.
For sure, absolutely. No, we definitely do. That's why we said right now what we have in place is an emergency order that I signed. And I would love to see a full-out plan, and the town would love to be involved. Absolutely.
And I do want to just say, when the biggest flooding was happening, which I think was way more on this side of the road than down the road, that a lot of townspeople jumped in and were really trying to help, and we did appreciate that. Now we would just like to really set up oversight and a plan that's long-term going forward, so we're not reacting, but we can kind of all work together and be proactive and prevent problems. So,
for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, great. Thank you, everyone. With that, I'm going to close the discussion on Shore Road. And I'm sure I will see you all probably again sometime in the future. I want to thank everyone for their participation, and I'm going to call Tracy back in, if I can find her. I'm going to go find Tracy. Hold on for a moment.
Next door. Yeah.
next item for discussion is meeting minutes. We have some?
Gave a notice, so there's not another one to replace her, so we don't have any meeting minutes this month.
Okay.
No mail either.
Okay. Wow, these discussion topics move a lot faster. Let's look at that. Oh, we don't have any mail. We do have a bunch of orders to be signed.
Orders to be signed, those are all the ones, all the extensions, all the notice of intents, certificate of compliances that were approved last meeting. They're in the to be signed folder. There should be little tabs where to sign. You certainly could pass those around throughout the meeting if you want to try to expedite the meeting.
I certainly will. I plan on doing that. I'm looking at, these are ones that we have done before. Oh, yep, no, that's that one, okay. All right, and then the next item on the agenda, number 4, I was really hoping to take up more time. Tracy's on her way back. The next item for discussion would have been our violation notice for DEP 1430976 at 161 Maple Street.
Yep, yeah, so they asked for continuance, but I asked the surveyor or the engineer or I think it's a wetland consultant to come in and just give a quick update because they weren't at the last meeting, and so instead of waiting 2 more meetings, we kind of just give an overall synopsis of where he stands before we continue.
Okay.
He's not here.
Do I have anybody for once?
That Mitch, are you for 161 Maple?
Say what?
161 Maple Street.
Nobody here?
Yeah, I think he's here. I see Mitch. Are you for 161 Maple?
There's nobody here physically.
No, he's in Zoom.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Hi there, this is Mitch Maslenko with Goddard Consulting LLC. I'm having technical difficulties. You guys are pretty blotchy there the past 30 seconds there. So I heard you begin to introduce me. So I'll just do my speech. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So 2 meetings ago, we were before the commission for some clearing that happened outside the order conditions. So we were going to put together a restoration plan, and our first action item was to get the clearing surveyed. The surveyor has been quite backlogged and has not had a chance to get out to the site. So we are going to have him out there in the next few weeks, and we will have a plan for you guys by the August 2nd hearing. We're going to put together a restoration plan and have you guys approve it. I was going to request that within the enforcement order, you give us
discussion, but
some action
They have a 5-minute
items,
recess.
required action items that we had to address. That being create the restoration plan, get the restoration plan approved, and then enact the restoration plan. So that's what I was gonna just come here and give you an update for. Again, the Zoom is quite glitchy, so I couldn't really hear you guys towards the end there of you introducing me. So I don't know if you maybe want to just send me a chat and maybe that'll work better. I don't know.
Can you hear us
but
now?
Thank you.
Can you hear us now?
You cannot. Mitch, I understand you can't hear us, but I'm going to go ahead and thank you anyways, because we heard you.
I'll contact him outside the meeting.
Okay, thank you. All right, we've got Tracy back for a minute.
Yes.
We're going to have
anything quick? You can continue.
Well, actually, do we need to take a vote on continuing 161 Maple Street?
No, it's a discussion.
Great. Yeah, what's the first one? We've got a determination of applicability for 3 Cook Street.
Yeah.
So they've asked for, the owner asked to withdraw this application.
Oh,
So you can entertain a motion to
Number
withdraw.
1 on new
Accept the
business.
withdrawal.
Number 1.
all right.
Number 2.
I will entertain a motion to, we're withdrawing?
Withdraw, to grant the withdrawal.
To grant the withdrawal. Yes, no, listen.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
All in favor? Mike?
Aye.
Aye.
And KG Dudley, aye.
And Eric is on the line, right?
Can you not vote on
He's
this
not
one?
voting. No, I can.
Okay.
But Eric can vote.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric.
And for the record, did you do a roll call vote?
I did not do a roll
Okay.
call vote at the beginning.
So Eric's just been remote for the entire meeting,
Correct.
7 PM. Okay.
Yes. All right.
Okay, it's on here twice.
The next new business was, really?
On mine.
Wow.
2, 3, 4, and 5.
Why is it written differently?
It's Steve, I think.
Okay, you know what?
1 and 6 are the same.
We're all gonna be fine.
I just noticed, sorry.
That's
No,
okay.
it's okay. One of them says groundwater trench and the other one says electrical service trench, and I didn't know if they were 2 separate trenches on 3 Cook Street.
Maybe.
Can I assume that the electrical service trench is also withdrawn?
No.
I can't make that assumption.
No, you may not.
Okay.
Okay. We need
Name
to
and
read-
address?
We need to hear the,
Jim Hallahan, 3 Cook Street.
we need to
Okay.
read the legal ad.
Okay. Then I need to start this from the beginning, that's true.
And then I'm leaving.
Okay, see ya.
What's up?
Be right back. Trying to get
It's in
on
another
the
meeting.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
I understand that. Okay. Steve, I'm looking for,
I have it on the screen.
do you? Oh, look at you. All right, thank you. All right. Good evening. This is a request for determination of applicability for 3 Cook Street for the electrical service trench. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission of 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. This is a legal notice for public meeting, request for determination. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting for Lovett Realty Trust on July 12, 2021 at 7 PM in the Municipal Center at 29 Depot Street for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and Wetland Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 40. The proposed request for determination of applicability work location is 3 Cook Street in Douglas, Mass., and the applicant's requesting permission to evacuate a trench to provide a new service entrance for electricity. Public participation will be virtual means only, which is only partially true. Pursuant to Governor Baker's law of June 16, 2021, March 2020, order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, and the governor's March 15 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Douglas Conservation Commission will be conducted via remote participation. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation on the website provided by the Conservation Agenda, posted on the town's website, and the link is there at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the RDA may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission at 1-508-476-400, extension 205. This is July 2nd in the Webster T&G. Thank you. All right, let's open this item up. Jeff? Jim, sorry.
Oh, okay. What do you, I didn't hear what you asked me.
To describe the project.
To describe the property?
No, just describe what you're doing. It's an electrical service trench?
Oh, right. So National Grid needs to provide me with a new service entrance. They need to move a transformer. So what they want to do is install a new telephone pole about where you have the pointer on the map. And they want to excavate a trench all the way over to the end of the building, approximately where you see the arrow going. So it's away from the river, but we are within the jurisdiction of, or within the wetlands, so we're coming to you guys to get permission.
Awesome. Did we have a plan? Oh, I do have a folder for this. And then I see, Steve, that you took some pictures as well.
Here's a video. So that's the existing pole. Is this coming up on the screen?
Yeah, it is. I'm watching it right now.
So
Yes, you're there.
that's the location of the new pole. They're gonna move that existing pole to the new pole. This is just so you see how close the river is.
Yeah.
And then from here, pretty much is gonna excavate to the left, across the parking lot to about where that building is. Is that right, Jim?
That's correct, right at the end of that building, to the right end.
Okay. Cool.
So what's happening? I'm sorry, they're moving a pole and then putting a electrical line in? I'm not really sure.
If I may interject,
Yeah, sorry, Mike. Name and company or what have you, address.
yep, hi, Mike Boothby, 422 East Belmont Street, Lakeland, Florida. I'm the electrician on the job, mass license 20177A. What we're doing is we're keeping the existing pole that you see in the picture, yep, right there. They are adding a second pole where the stake is.
Okay.
What we're doing is we're going to put a silt fence around where the pole is going to go. And then we're digging a 2-foot trench from that pole as you keep following to the end of the wooden building, which is the red building there,
Okay.
correct?
And this,
So we're digging away from the river.
yeah. And this provides them with additional electric service, like,
No, currently, the way the service is configured is the meters are inside the building. The utility company, as a rule, does not like the meters inside the building. So, as we've gone through this project, in numerous meetings with National Grid, we came upon the solution of putting it outside on the edge of that building where the meters will be outside so they can be read by National Grid, and there'll also be a pad transformer right in that little island on the outside of the red wood building.
okay, not in the river where the video is pointed. The transformer's next to the building.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
Transformer will be next to the building, and it will have containment.
Okay. I guess I'm still struggling with the purpose of the trench.
The service entrance cable has to run underground.
Okay.
So it's a new service location. So I can't take the existing cables as they are and use them for the new one. We have to run new cables to the new transformer and to the new service.
Okay. Okay, and you're doing that underground, whereas previously they were above ground.
Correct. And that,
all right.
They are underground now.
They are underground now. They're just somewhere else?
No.
Yeah, kind of where you saw the, I don't know if you guys can see me, but kind of where that arrow goes. Whoever's moving the arrow, that's where that's where the current underground is.
Right.
That's going to be abandoned in place.
Okay.
And the new trench will have concrete encased. National Grid has their own standards for inspections and that type of thing. So I will need inspections not only from National Grid, but from the local wiring inspector. He will be involved. I've actually spoken to the town as far as digging the trench and how close to the road it is. I spoke with John Furno about that.
Thank you.
So we've really tried to get our ducks in a row here to make sure that, we're in compliance with every section, for this project.
Okay. Yeah, no, I wanted to understand the nature of why you needed a trench. I didn't understand that you had underground wires and you had to use different ones. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Board, do we have any questions on our side?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
So is the existing pole going to be removed, or will there be 2 poles there?
There will be 2 poles. The existing pole is going to stay, and there will be an additional pole added where you saw the stake.
Okay. That's a really scenic and historical area, was there any alternative looked at to not adding another pole in that area?
No, we've been working on this since, when, last March, Jim?
Last May, yeah.
Last May, and we've had numerous meetings with National Grid, and this is really the only solution to the issue.
Will there be any clearing done next to the river to be able to add that pole? And it looks like there's a guideline or a tension line that's coming off of the existing pole. Will there need to be any clearing to hold up the new pole?
Yes, we'll need to do minimal clearing. We're going to keep it to a minimum, obviously, because we understand, the client and his tenants, they enjoy the scenery as well. That's part of the allure of the whole building. So, we're going to keep any clearing of trees to a minimum, but what the power company is going to need for safety to work on the lines.
So when you say there is going to be some clearing, are you talking branch pruning, or are you talking trees that are going to need to be taken down?
I think branches, I'm sorry. As National Grid comes in, they're basically going to dictate what we need to do. That's the power company's regulations, and there's not much we can do about that.
I guess from the perspective of the Conservation Commission, we really need to know in advance how many trees you would expect would come down. If you're doing branch pruning, we're not particularly, we need to be informed roughly, but like if you're going to do an entire tree removal, we want to know about that, if there's the potential for a tree removal, and then we want to make sure we've got conditions on that, like if you do have to cut down a tree, that there would be no stump removal.
I'm sorry, I missed the last part of that. You said if a tree does have to be cut down, and then I didn't hear the rest.
And then you can't have the stump removed.
Cannot, you said?
Correct.
Okay.
You could have it ground down flush, but you couldn't have it fully removed because of erosion concerns.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, what is this?
It's an RDA.
This is a determination of applicable. Yeah, so it is, okay. So that we would have to condition that if there are any, so we want to understand, we would like to put a limit in our order of conditions about how many trees that could be removed if you think that that's going to happen. Do you have a guesstimate?
I would say probably 3. As I'm looking at the picture now, I'm looking at a still shot.
Yep.
Of the guy wire, and I think those two trees, those two light up box trees, might have to go. Just for the clearance of, to get from pole to pole. But again, obviously we're going to try to keep it to as minimal as possible, but
oh yeah,
with what the power company requires.
Okay.
And is it just a pole, or is there something on the pole?
No, it's just a pole.
Okay.
So there won't be a transformer mounted to it because the transformer will be over at the end of the...
Next to the building.
The wood building.
Right.
Pad mount transformer with containment.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
Any other questions from the board? All right, this is a public hearing. Do I have any questions for the public about this? I don't see any hands raised. All right, I don't see a lot of issues. I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Mike.
Mark Mungem, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Got you, Mike. Eric?
Eric Harris, aye.
Thank you, Eric. All right, so we've closed the public hearing. The next one is, I will entertain a motion to give this a negative RDA conditioned with no more than 3 trees will be removed. For any tree that is removed, there's no stumping. There will be no equipment parked overnight within the jurisdictional area, so that's within 100 feet of any wetlands. And that there will be erosion controls in place for the extension of the digging, and that, you know, you'll contact Steve before you start work to check those erosion controls.
So moved.
All right?
Second.
Excellent, thank you. All right, roll call vote.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Eric Parents, aye.
Thank you, Eric. All right, there you have it. It's a negative RDA with those conditions.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, board.
All right, great. So just want to
Booth B.
just take some notes and get caught up. All right. The next item that I have on the agenda for new business, and it is, oh gosh, if nobody remind us what time it is, and it's 8:33, is the public meeting request for a certificate of compliance for 165 Webster Street, Lot 2, Hayward Homes, LLC. So Steve, I guess I'm looking for a location on this one because I'm trying, I think I know where this is.
After the intersection of Bad Luck Pond and Cedar Street.
Oh, those ones, yep.
It's right after that property on the right.
Yeah, I remember when they put those in.
Is this
There was the old Marlene Bacon, I think, owned this property at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Is this address correct? Is it Webster Street?
Yeah. It's Route 16 heading to Webster. Yeah, 165's right after Bad Luck Pond, right after Cedar Street intersection.
Right after Cedar Street.
Yeah, there's a couple little houses right there, newer houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen those in the past. They put those in a little bit ago. Okay, so they're looking for a certificate of compliance.
Let's see if I got the video here.
Yeah.
So they submitted the as-built, which looks good. This is, everything kind of matched up. I mean, the house was off a little bit, but
A little bit in which direction?
I think it was just cocked a little bit. You know, it wasn't in the box. So.
Did we get an as-built plan?
We do. It's there.
Okay.
It's in I just had it up on the screen.
I believe you.
So all the wetlands in the front. I think. Oh, no, nothing back here is outside the jurisdiction in the backyard. So it's really they stuck to the the lawn and everything. Everything pretty much where the lawn is where the erosion controls were.
AB stands for as-built. Thanks. Oh, that looks lovely. Yeah, it's crooked. The right side and the driveway ended up coming closer, and the left side ended up being slightly further back. But they stayed outside of their area of construction, or whatever that is.
Yeah, limited disturbance.
Limited disturbance. They stayed well inside their limit of disturbance. Okay. Board, do we have any questions about this one? There were no mysterious emergent basketball courts?
No.
No, nothing like that. Okay. Yeah.
Are you okay with it, Steve?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was been out there the entire time they were constructing it, so I didn't see any issues with it at all.
Okay. I will entertain a motion.
I move we grant the certificate of compliance for 165 West Street, Lot 2.
All right.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. All in favor, or roll call vote?
Mark Mungem, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
You. Yeah, these are much easier when these are submitted in a timely manner and can follow along. All right, number 8 is also a certificate of compliance for 169 Webster Street, Lot 3.
So here's the as-built plan. I just drew in the 100-foot in red, so you can kind of see
They
all this
stayed out
work
of
is
100.
is outside the jurisdiction, so it's
Okay.
really a little bit of grading.
Is that what was proposed?
That was proposed, well, yeah, proposed,
It's layered on the
they
same,
didn't put the proposed,
oh, they didn't?
well, this is actually the proposed limit of disturbance, which is the, in black. And red is what they actually built, so I think they came up, the tree line, they didn't clear as much as they could have,
That's fine.
and I'll show you the video.
The only difference I'm seeing is originally they had the driveway turnaround in the back, like you drive all the way up and then back into your garage. And in the, that's the way they did it. And in the original plan, the turnaround actually went to the left and was closer to the property line. But either way, that the driveway turnaround's non-jurisdictional.
Right.
But that's the only major difference I'm seeing between the red and the black lines. And that and is the red is the as-built, the black's the original?
It is.
Okay. So the house actually ended up being quite a bit smaller. One shouldn't say quite a bit. A little bit smaller.
No chickens.
Oh, good. Oh, they got a nice stone wall in the front.
Well, yeah, that's another thing, we made them we had them keep that stone wall, and that's actually acts as a natural barrier too.
Those ferns look great in there. That actually, they've got a natural barrier, and their plantings actually look very attractive.
So I think both lots came out really well. It stuck to the plan. Pretty much.
I mean, that's a lot of lawn, but they have every right to do so.
Well, you know.
All right. I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve their certificate of compliance for 169 Webster Street, lot number 3.
All right. Motion made.
Second.
Mike seconded. All roll call vote.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Thank you. All right, granted. All right, and then number 9, I have at and PM. It's actually 8:40 now. Public hearing for the notice of intent, 55 Lakeshore Drive. Jake Goodison.
Read the order.
Looks like it. It's not a continuance.
Yeah, send it there.
If I find it, I will read it.
Thought Steve was going to come up with it.
That's okay. I think I actually have it. Oh. No, I got it. All right. Now I got it. All right.
You have the ad?
Yeah, I do. All right, so this is 981932 Goodison, 55 Lakeshore Drive, Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas. Legal notice for public meeting pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on July 12, 2021 at 7 p.m. for a notice of intent filed by Jack Goodison, located 55 Lakeshore Drive, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40. The proposed work involves construction of an addition to an existing cabin, connected by a breezeway, and a proposed gravel driveway access, as well as associated grading and utility installations within the 100-foot buffer. Public participation will be via virtual means only pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021, and March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GL 38-18, and the governor's meeting of the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people they may gather in one place. This meeting of the Douglas Conservation Commission will be conducted via remote participation. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the town's website, Douglas, Mass., and at least 48 hours prior to the meeting, copies of the notice intent may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission, 508-476-4000, extension 205. It's posted July 5th in the Worcester TNG. All right. Who's presenting for 55 Lakeshore Drive?
Hi, I'm Kendra Santamaria. I'm from Gary and Howland. I am representing Jack Goodison of 55 Lakeshore Drive for our project here. We are proposing an addition to an existing cabin. Actually, can I share my screen? Is that all right?
We will have cable. Yeah, we're going to have cable grant you permission to share your screen.
All right.
And so real quick, did you happen to get my comments?
I did receive your comments. I am prepared to speak to some of them this evening.
All right, which is fine. The big one was the green cards, because technically we need that to have the public hearing. Do you know?
I did send you a copy of a certificate of mailing. My admin said that was all right. Is that acceptable for you guys, or did that change?
Oh, that's fine. I didn't get the email, so let me check my end here.
Okay. All right. So while he's looking into that, can I get started and describe this plan a little bit?
Yeah, please do.
All right. So we have here an existing cabin. Right now, our client parks down here and then walks down the steep set of stairs down to the cabin there. They would like to put an addition onto their cabin and create a driveway access so that they can actually park down there, and it's a bit safer for them to actually access their cabin there. We are proposing erosion control barrier along here in red, and we are including both hay bales and silk fence for that. So I did receive a number of comments from Steve. I don't know if you guys want to ask questions or have me run through this list.
Board? You want?
I have no questions. This is the first I've seen the plan, so I don't have any questions yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Where are the buffers lines? Are those the red ones?
So the blue is our, it is a bank that we have flagged here. And then here in orange, we have our 50-foot buffer. And then out here is our 100-foot buffer, also in orange.
From the lake shore.
What was that?
Sorry, I gotta get closer.
Yeah, from?
Your buffer is from the lake shore. There's not another piece of wetland here.
Nope, there is an intermittent stream along the back here.
Okay.
So we have the bank of the intermittent stream, and then we have the bank of Manchad Pond.
Okay.
All right, so one of my comments was the delineation itself. That was in the field survey delineation.
Yep, so the delineation was performed by Goddard Consulting in January of 2021, and our survey crew went out and located those flags.
In January?
In January, yep.
So we didn't get a delineation report from them?
I believe I did include one. I do have a report from them. Did you receive a PDF copy of things, or maybe?
I got the NOI, the hard copy.
I'm not sure why it's not there. It is just a letter. It's not the DEP, like that, those sheets that they have. So it's not those sheets. It's just a letter. I don't know.
But the reason I ask, because it's unusual to have a stream with no BBW associated with it. So it looks like they just located the stream itself. And I was wondering why if they verified there was no.
Yeah, they noted in this letter that the bank of the pond is about 3 feet high. So I don't think that there is a BBW associated with it.
Yeah, not the pond, but the stream that comes down, the intermittent stream itself.
My understanding is that there's not a BBW associated with that.
Okay, just to throw this out there, that you know, that's of interest to us, we might want to do a site walk. But other than that, I'd like to carry on. All right, Steve or Kendra, what other questions or answers do we have on this one?
For me, like, I mean, just in general, so, I mean, when the commission goes through the project, some of the concerns is, well, one is the existing cabin going to be taken down, or is this an addition to that existing cabin?
The existing cabin is going to remain.
It's an
So
addition.
it's going to be connected by a breezeway to this addition here.
So they filed a minor project, you know, it's just a technicality, but it looks like it's just a filing fee issue. Because two, I had a lot of concerns with the proximity of the runoff, the amount of slope pitch of the driveway. There is a lot. There is a lot of runoff that comes down Lake Shore. If anyone drives down there, it is very steep in this area. There is a lot of side ditches and runoff that occurs along this section of the road. So will this driveway be picking up runoff from Shore Road itself? And then any runoff that does come down the driveway, it is steep. Prevent erosion from height, and it actually designed to contain the runoff as it's coming down the driveway. And the amount of work is very close to the resource area itself.
Yeah, so we looked into a number of different layouts to try to figure something out that would work for this lot. It is, as you can see, very steep existing, and as you mentioned, the gravel roadway is steep itself existing. So we really had to work with what we have here. It is steep in this area. There's not much we could do about that without putting in a very costly wall down here to try to reduce the slope, but it was cost prohibitive for our client. So this is what we were able to come up with.
Okay.
How close is the grading to the intermittent stream?
The grading reaches about 15 feet, or about 13 to 15 feet from the wetland flag here.
What is the slope on the driveway, and what is the slope on that comes off the driveway towards the intermittent stream?
So it's about 12% slope on this driveway here, or the existing gravel roadway. And we do go up to 18% slope here. So it's about 12%, goes up to 18%, and then we were able to reduce the slope coming around this curve and flatten it out a little bit over here.
And then what about off of that corner towards the intermittent stream? What is the slope of that? And what is proposed for that slope? Is it going to be grass?
Over here where my cursor is?
No, below, between the driveway and the intermittent stream.
Yes.
Oh, okay, between the driveway. So it is 3-to-1 right here, and it goes a little bit steeper over here.
And
So
what is proposed for that surface? What is it going to be vegetated? Is it going to be stone? What is proposed for that slope?
So we have not decided, but it will likely be planted and stabilized using plants.
Okay, that will have to be determined and proposed to us.
It is still to be determined.
Okay.
And looking at the driveway itself, the water that's on the driveway, does it go into the house? Does it go down and into the house, or where does it come off the driveway?
So we're hoping that it doesn't go all the way into the house. We tried to angle the contours over here. The nature of the house or the existing cabin has the slope coming towards it. So there wasn't much we were able to do. We do intend to put foundation drainage here, which will probably discharge over in this area.
Okay. Are there any drainage pipes?
Help protect the foundation.
Oh, please.
Are there any drainage pipes proposed?
We do not have them. We do not have drainage proposed at this point.
Okay. No, it's okay. I'm looking at it, and you're inspiring the same questions that I was going to ask the same thing, because you're asking about drainage on the building, and I'm also looking at drainage. The way I see, you've got the boxy square of driveway here at the end, and the way that it's sloped, that's going to head, I mean, gradually, but eventually towards the shoreline. And my understanding is if you don't want the water going towards the house, that it's going to be sloped so that the water comes across this lawn or vegetated area between here and the lake.
Yeah, we tried to grade as much as we could, have it go towards or away from the house.
Yep.
But as I said, just the nature of the site doesn't really allow us to properly send the water away. So there's a little bit towards there, but we tried to get most of it to go down the slope here.
Okay. I'm throwing out there because we were talking about the idea of pipes, or even if you had areas with kind of little swales or crushed rock or something, those would be things that we'd want to see on a plan if that's something that you want to incorporate. And then the other thing I was going to throw out there, and I guess it's related to talking about where the water's going to flow. The addition looks like it's twice the area of the existing cabin.
It is substantially bigger than the existing cabin, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a lot more non-permeable surface here, and we just got to make sure, because there's just nothing on the plan for where the water is. If you want to put like gutters on there, going to a pipe, going to something like a rain garden, those are things that I would like to either have in the notes or on the plan.
Okay. I'll talk to my client and see.
Yeah, see what route you want to go, but I definitely would recommend something to deal with. And here I am, I'm talking about the cabin expansion, but I should really be more concerned about the driveway, because I think Steve's concern is that because there's a lot of runoff coming down Lakeshore Drive at that point, and I have been to the site, that if the water coming down Lakeshore Drive ends up coming down the driveway, it's going to be like more water than you're accounting for, that you might be accounting for. I don't want to say whether you are or you aren't. But I guess I just want to make sure that we've accounted for that. And if you could put something on the plan that addresses that, I would appreciate it. And I think board, I would like to do a site walk. I don't know if that's something that you all, I know Art likes those too.
Yeah, and stake out.
Yeah, this is
stake out
definitely
the
a sidewalk.
driveway. Yeah.
This is, okay.
Yeah. Just house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have, on the property, well, I guess first of all, would we prefer to all go out at the same time, or is it okay with the landowner if we went out individually on like a weekend or weekdays?
I assume that they would prefer a one-time thing, but they may be open to allowing you guys to stop by as you're available. I can talk to our client and get back to you on that.
I would appreciate that. You can let Steve know, and then Steve can let us know what options there are. Some of us prefer weekends, some of us prefer weekdays, which is why we usually kind of go in a staggered pattern. But if there's a time that works, you can coordinate that through Steve, because it definitely seems we want to do that. And then we would ask, also let Steve know when the site would be ready, because we would want to see the corners of the addition and some of the edges of the driveway flagged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be blasting at all?
Well,
It is a fill situation here, so we're not expecting blasting. If there is ledge encountered digging or excavating for the addition, that would be the only opportunity that I can see for ledge.
We're just going to
but
see that marked on the plan.
Hopefully we don't encounter it.
I do have a little bit of a video I captured from the previous project here.
Oh, okay.
See if I can show this. Is this on the screen?
Yes. It's this addition.
This is where the driveway's coming down.
Oh. This is a stream with no bordering vegetated wetland.
Oh.
Is my video on the screen?
Yep.
I believe this is the...
It's no bordering.
Is that the cabin in the background?
It also has no bordering vegetation.
Confused. What was the previous project?
I think it is an extension.
So there is an existing cabin.
Yeah, what was the previous project? They have erosion control up.
I did miss that part. That's a good question.
Well, Steve said from the... Steve, what was the previous project?
What's that?
Can you refresh my memory on the previous project that was done here? There's erosion control installed?
Yeah, the erosion control. This is the one where we just did a certificate of compliance last meeting. They kind of split the property.
I remember.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Violation. Bob Murphy did the...
I actually don't know how to do that yet. So I'm
plan
going to
for
have
it.
to go back and just open it.
So here's the entire video where they came down and had some erosion coming down. And they repaired,
Oh, yeah.
They repaired this. It's all grass now.
Mm.
And
What's the existing?
came down here and they put the shed here. That shed
There
wasn't
is
supposed to be
somebody's
there.
parking in the lawn.
They had to move the shed. This is, I think, from a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we remember now, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking,
Same property, same cabin.
we're talking, when they introduced the project, they were saying he was having to park up in here and walk down the slope, and that's part of the reason why we're doing this.
Yeah, we're going all the way there for green.
Does the plan show the number and the size of the trees to be removed?
We did not locate the trees on site here. We do anticipate that trees will have to come down, but we did not locate or mark out which ones would be coming down.
Can you please add those to the plan?
It's a large area, so that's the reason that we didn't go and inventory each tree. Is that something we need to do, or could we do maybe within like the 50 feet of the wetland or something like that?
You could do an estimated number of trees to be removed within a,
Okay.
and show the area where those trees are, and then you can estimate that number and say, oh, it's this many trees within this boundary in this general area.
Okay, that works.
I'd want to have within 100 feet.
You also want to see the 100?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And if we could have those, the flags tied around the bigger trees, like, Steve, either, 6 caliper or 12 caliper? The larger trees to be removed?
Yeah.
You've got a lot of, I mean, what's your guesstimate on the trees right now? Do you have a guess?
I do not have a guess
Okay.
on the number of trees.
So, just want to, my name's Elizabeth, my name also from Garrier and Hellman. What we can do is when they go out to stake the, corners of the
Cabin.
proposed addition and the edge of the driveway, which we prefer to do the center line of the driveway unless.
That's fine.
Unless you, doesn't matter to you guys.
Except for when you get to the turnaround, otherwise the center line is fine. That's a big turnaround area, I wouldn't mind that,
And-
yeah.
So when they do that, they can stake out the limit of the erosion control.
Oh, yep.
Which would also, obviously, everything from the erosion control, which is going at the edge of the grading, up to the 100-foot would, rather than tying something on each individual tree and just that's something that would be easily visible during the site walk, and make it pretty easy for us to count the trees in the field, so.
I would appreciate that. I think what we're trying to watch out for, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, is with especially this being close to this body of water in the wetlands here, we want to make sure we're flagging if there's any large shade trees that are coming down, right? So if we're losing a large shade tree, I definitely want to see that flag so we can discuss it separately. Yes, Tracy?
Yeah, we're clear cutting and grading. And it was mentioned that there was a fill site. It was a fill site, right?
Yes.
So is there any talk about any like retaining walls or a different design for the driveway portion? Because we're getting really, everything's going to be cleared. Where you see all that grading, it's going to be cleared to almost to the zero. So has there been an alternative looked at for the driveway?
We have looked into a couple of different wall designs. They were a bit too larger than we wanted it to be, but we may be able to do something along, I think that the 25-foot, we may be able to get a wall in there. We can look into that.
Yeah, if we can hold the 25, especially the concern with the shading for that BVW. Someone said that there was just bank, it's no BVW.
Yeah, we talked about that when we talked about the flagging, because Steve asked if they had the letter for the flagging and if there was an associated vegetation, and they were saying no, that it was just the stream.
Okay.
We confirmed with Goddard that it was just bank.
Yeah,
that
straight
there
bank.
are no wetlands, BVW associated with the bank.
Okay.
And is this going to zoning board?
What was the question?
Zoning Board of Appeals. This is an undersized lot, right? This is going through zoning board? It's a question.
I don't know that.
Okay.
I was not aware it was an undersized lot.
Well, you don't have the front setback of 50 feet, right?
They might be close, actually.
Well, that's a different one.
Right, that's a different board, that's why we're asking.
We're gonna be last on the decision making. We go last, so Board of Health, that's why there's the sheet, I just don't know why not. That's why we have the checklist. No, we don't have setbacks on here, do we?
Well, I don't know, is Lakeshore Drive a public way?
Doesn't matter, it's a way in existence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was subdivided. So yeah, I'm not.
There would definitely be a setback to Lakeshore Drive, regardless of whether it's a public or private way.
I'm not seeing any shown on the plan that we have.
They are not on plans. We must have missed those on the plans. I do know that the addition is definitely conforming to zoning. I'm not completely sure about the existing cabin, nor am I sure about the undersized lot.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to know that.
I did definitely check on that addition.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, well, it's inside the setbacks, but we don't know because we don't have any. And did the highway department issue a driveway permit?
I'm not sure that the highway department has to issue a driveway permit where it is a private way.
I don't know about that. I would say that he issues all driveway permits. Public way, private way, or way in existence at the time zoning was enacted. I would just double check that and have it as an answer for us for the next time, because he's looking at the grading also for safety, for emergency services.
What's the proposed surface of the driveway?
Gravel.
So it's gravel, yeah.
No, that's not going to work. At an 18% pitch, the gravel's all going to end up in the
Most of it's only
intermittent
12.
stream and in the lake.
What?
Most of the pitch of the driveway is only 12.
Yeah, so that's also why
Yeah.
the highway looks at
I think you need to
the
look at that.
driveway. Yeah, this is a little tough. Mike, do you have anything? Even though I'm not running the meeting.
It's fine. You're participating very well.
Mike, do you have anything? Mike? No.
No.
How's Eric doing? Okay.
Eric's doing a
So
great job.
Would you prefer to see the driveway paved?
I'm saying that the gravel driveway will not be stable. And so, yes, I guess I'm saying that it needs to be a surface that will be stable.
Or reduce the slope.
Or reduce
Or reduce the slope to make it
Which is probably
stable.
what we would prefer.
That is our preference, but I also understand you already have a lot of grading on here.
Believe me, I'm seeing lots of driveways right now that are gravel, that are pouring down gravel into the roads. And
Big stuff.
it's not something that we want to do long-term.
Yeah.
We have, we spoke to our clients about the steepness of that driveway, and we tried, it was certainly not our first
Driveway?
Preference.
agreement
Okay.
to go to this, and I spoke with him specifically to tell him that that it very well may be a problem at that steep grade, and
Yep.
that he may need to pave it for that reason.
Okay.
So
Maybe put some speed bumps.
he prefers not to pave.
Understood.
He wants to kind of keep the feel of the lot, but certainly.
Well, definitely.
No erosion.
I don't disagree at all that that's too steep for a gravel driveway, so if you prefer to see it, prefer to see it paved, we certainly we'll include that on the revision.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely entertain whatever mitigating factors. We're just saying that gravel at 12 or 18% is going to be a no.
Yeah.
Solve the problem how you choose.
Yeah, I foresee it being a potential, like even, it was mentioned, Lakeshore Drive itself, does erode in some areas. And it's, there's areas of it that are probably about as steep. The area right where it comes around the corner is a little less steep, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, we can't control the rest of the drive in this meeting, but I understand the rest of Lakeshore Drive has issues, and we'd like to see this driveway not have those issues, especially since this driveway gets even closer to the stream and to the bank. All right, do I have any other questions from the board right now? Because this is a public hearing, I was going to let anyone who's here from the general public who had questions to ask, to go ahead at this time. Okay. All right, so it looks like we want to do a site walk. We want to see some changes on the plan.
Steve, you've sent over the checklist to the applicant.
I sent it to her.
Okay.
I do have the checklist.
Okay, so we want to have all the answers for everything shown on the plan. We want to do an alternatives analysis type of thing, nothing, not riverfront, but an alternatives to what's proposed here as far as the massive amount of grading, in addition to Steve's comments. And double checking on the, do we have a slurry pit shown on the plan next to the well, the new well?
There's a new
And double erosion control, yeah, it says proposed well, doesn't it? Or does
PR
it
well?
say pre-existing, or?
Is that the same well?
No, that is a new well.
Oh, that is a new well, okay. Oh, yeah, no, then we'd need a slurry pit for that. Sorry, I missed that.
Double erosion controls around that. Some sort of, you were looking for mitigation for the roof runoff?
Well, the roof runoff and the driveway runoff, right? So, I mean, one of the mitigating
We are
factors.
looking for mitigation for
Okay.
that, definitely.
Okay, so.
I am.
Okay.
He's much more black and white than you tonight.
Yes.
So I would discourage the rain garden. I think that the soils are.
Like my rain garden?
Rain gardens only really work in certain special situations, and there's a lot of ledge here. So,
in the ledge.
You know, I would suggest
Fine.
something else other than that. But
Okay.
yeah, that definitely, more the driveway is pretty concerning, and then the associated grading with that driveway. And what's the width of the driveway?
It's 12 feet wide.
Okay.
Wait, so actually, no, I'm not going to apologize. I'm going to interject. The driveway is 12 feet, and I can see the full width of the driveway, but the stream varies between 3 and 12 feet, and I just have a center line.
No, they didn't do the other side. They didn't do the other side.
They didn't do the other side. Okay, so
they're
this
not
is
gonna do the
just
other
this
side.
side of the
Yeah.
stream. Okay,
Yeah,
nope,
the
that's fine.
closest point.
That's fine, okay, no, that
We
makes
just
sense.
don't know what.
So the stream is the property line.
No, we don't know that
The
either.
property does extend to the other side of the intermittent stream. We did not
But we
have
don't
that flag
care about
because we're
that.
not doing any work on that side.
Okay.
So we just have the side that affects our work area.
Okay, nope, that's
There's lots of stuff there.
fine. Those are nice things.
And do we have the report from Goddard about the status?
I did send it. I will make sure that I send it again, because it seems to be missing.
You know why, it just took me, it was just one sheet, it was just a
Okay.
memo, it wasn't.
Just for the record.
I was just, because he did it in January, so maybe that's why he didn't find any BBW.
Okay, so Steve, have you walked the property
Well, I
recently?
haven't
Video.
walked for this particular project.
Okay,
I will.
all right, so we'll have to just double check that and if we have any questions.
Yep.
Yeah, so pulling that limit of work, reducing that grading, a whole lot of grading.
Okay.
I think that's good.
All right,
Audience have anything?
they didn't.
Okay, all right,
We're going to continue.
continue to,
I'll entertain a motion to continue this to August, no, we have,
second,
August 2nd, yeah, that's the next one,
at 7 PM.
at 7 PM.
So moved.
Thank you.
Sorry,
No, that's right.
I thought he was going to.
Can I have that seconded?
Second.
Thanks. Roll call vote, KG Dudley, aye.
Greco, aye.
Mark Mungemai.
Tracy Sharkey, aye.
Paris, aye.
I got Tracy and Eric, thank you both. That's everybody. All right, thank you guys, we'll see you guys on August 2nd. Yes, Steve? Sorry.
Before you on to new business, I just had,
Dare I?
I mean, just one new business item that wasn't on the agenda. but the
Oh.
gentleman's here to talk about it.
Okay.
Can't bring it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Not supposed to bring it up.
I don't
It's not
know.
on the agenda.
Terrence Joyce, 22 U Street. Want to kind of give a history of the site, or I can do it.
Steve, what's the nature of the not anticipated in advance?
Yeah, it was. I received this on Saturday, so he just wants some advice from the commission on how to proceed.
What's the nature of the request?
If he should file a minor plan change, or should he file a hearing, or how to proceed on a change in a plan?
I don't think that the board should take that up. I think that it's whatever the applicant would like to do. And we can put it under discussion as a request. It can be a formal request. I don't think we need to direct anybody to do something with their property. I think it needs to be either under discussion or it needs to be formally requested. I don't know why would we be taking it up now? We don't give our opinion on what needs to be filed. It's the burden of the applicant to know what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Because
We're asking for an amendment to the existing septic plans. I was under the assumption we had to do that in front of this commission.
No, that's Board of Health, if it's septic plan.
And then once it's approved by the Board of Health, do I come back to this commission to get approval on it?
Is it jurisdictional?
I'm sorry?
Is it jurisdictional to the Conservation Commission? Is it within the 100-foot buffer zone of a wetland?
Yes, it is.
Then yes.
But
So Board of Health first?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And then I would come back on August 2nd to this commission to get approval?
But you need to file.
If you just request, you don't have an existing order of conditions.
There is.
Do you?
There's an existing order that Purcell's did, and that drawing came back, this gentleman came back, he was the original owner that did the original notice of intent. He bought the property, and Andrews redid the Purcell's plan, and the commission approved that on an amended order. And so he sold the property, or he's about to sell it, and the developer came in and he submitted a third plan that was similar to the original Purcell's plan, which I thought was going to be a carbon copy of the original plan. It turned out it's a little different still. So I found that out tonight. And so, and the septic looked like it might have changed again. So I guess my recommendation is to have advertised in the paper for a plan amendment, use the original notice of intent, and then bring that before the commission on August 2nd.
I think get your Board of Health approval first.
Okay.
And then go from there, and I would be on discussion on the agenda. Is it currently failing? Is it a failing? It's a brand new lot?
The original order had a septic system that was approved, and it looks like they went ahead and did a second approval on the lot. It's not built on.
Okay, yeah, let's do Board of Health first, because we always wait for Board of Health anyway before we make any decisions. Has it been submitted to Board of Health?
My understanding is that it was, but I'll confirm that.
Okay, and then send the approved plan to Steve.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Steve, could you add in 22 U Street onto the portal so that we can see what we're looking at?
I mean, I can bring up with the plans right now, but
it's getting late.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we'll come back here on August 2nd.
Yeah, if you could, just get on the agenda for discussion, or if you want to do, I mean, it's an active order. As long as it's not in the wetland, you have to have a septic.
Right.
So, I mean, we already did one amended order. I'm not recalling this project, so I'll just have to double check.
22 U Street, not in my time.
I would just request.
This was the original plan.
Yeah.
Which I believe is from 2017 or earlier.
Right here that the cells did.
I have before my time.
Andrews, I don't know, is this coming up? Yeah.
I have been here for a long time.
Is this coming up?
Yeah.
So Andrews came in, and this gentleman redid that Purcell's plan, which was kind of hand-drawn, and did this plan here. So this is the one that was supposed to be existing. Building permit came in, and the building permit had had this plan submitted.
But the limit of work didn't change, the limited disturbance, limit of work line.
But this plan is totally different. It's got the septic closer to the street, and he said that the Andrews plan had approved septic, and someone in the town told him that he had to come back and do a separate perk test and get a septic approval all over again, which confused me.
No, that's not true.
And so he wants this plan to be the one he uses associated with the notice of intent.
Correct.
Okay, let's just add all the plans to the portal, get the plan approved by Board of Health, and then if we have to see you on the 2nd, we'll let you know.
You want him to advertise or just bring
No.
this as an amended plan change?
Minor plan change.
Minor plan change, yeah.
If it is one, I can't even tell, because we have no plans in the portal, so I can't see it.
Right, okay.
On a little picture.
So Board of Health, then minor plan change doesn't have to be advertised, correct?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the clarification.
You're
so
welcome.
Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you, good night.
Did you do old business?
We'll try. No, we still have to do 175 Southwest Main Street. No, I haven't.
Okay, do it.
And I don't even know, I don't have, there's the plan folder is empty. And the photo.
We have no
I don't want-
DP number, or do we?
There's no photo video.
What?
The folders are empty for me. Just speaking for myself. When I open the folder that says plan,
Okay, we did get the DEP
In the
number.
OneDrive?
yes. And when I open the folder that says photo video,
Can you go?
am
to
I
the-
doing it wrong?
No. Can you go to the DP number?
Yes.
Can you zoom in on that? 'Cause I can't see.
What's wrong with
I think
you?
we were. How much?
No, they're there.
Okay. Can you scroll
Oh,
down?
wait, no, the video's empty.
Buffer zone. Buffer zone.
Oh,
Form
that's
3
weird. Let me-
indicates the project is in the buffer zone, but also indicates that bordering land subject to flooding will be altered. Plan in GIS indicates. Okay. Kate, you want to ask who's presenting for this? They've got conflicting on the. They're saying they're altering.
I was really hoping to see a plan, but yes, I can ask who's presenting for this.
Yeah. So you're gonna open.
It was already opened, it's continued.
Yeah, try that.
You should say what we're doing right now.
I'm busy talking to Tracy over here. All right, old business item number 2. It is now 9:25 PM. Public hearing continued for DEP 143. It's got some numbers I was looking at a minute ago.
1025.
Thank you, 1025. Public hearing continued for the notice of intent from 175 Southwest Main Street.
So the DEP commented on the boarding land subject to flooding on your application. Have you resubmitted that document to them and to us?
For the record, my name is Jude Dobbin from Andrews Engineering, representing the applicant Lloyd Moore. I got the comments, I saw the DEP thing this morning, so I have not changed the form.
Okay.
Okay.
I think were we just waiting on the number? There was nothing outstanding.
On the number, and I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Byron asked me to cover this meeting. He had been doing it, but he said that there was some question about the compensatory storage that we provided for it, and there was some question whether the house needed to be raised up and stuff. So we got clarification from the owner, and we went out and did a little bit more topo. And if you notice on the latest revision, we've shaved out, there's kind of like a little knoll to the left-hand side of the property. And we shaved that out to provide the compensatory storage for the garage that was being proposed.
Okay, great.
So is that the only revision to the plan since it was first submitted?
As far as I understand, yes.
Zoom in on this.
So the form's
I would like to.
pretty simple thing to correct.
Can't you just go down the bottom? It's not coming up.
Steve, is there a way for us to see the plan?
No.
Yeah, right there.
Could you zoom in on the knoll?
I have the plan on the drives too. Just put it on the drive.
It's not really,
Is it on the screen?
yes.
Yep,
There we go.
there you go.
So board, do we want to wait till the form, or do we want to
So
do
the
it
floodplain
conditionally?
line goes to the left of the proposed garage at elevation 498.85. It's a thin dashed black line that runs down basically along the tree line.
I don't think he ordered it correctly.
To the right, Steve. Keep going. Right there, that line. That's the floodplain line there. And it comes up and wraps around this proposed garage. So raising the house, that doesn't fill any floodplain because it's already an existing dwelling. We're just raising the house up so that we can actually put a real foundation underneath it. And where the fill comes in is where the garage is proposed, because the driveway, we had to regrade the driveway so that it came up and met the garage, and the first floor worked with the garage slab. So we identified an area on site that we could sculpt out the material that we were filling for the garage. We could provide the compensatory storage to the left-hand side. Basically where it says building setback line. Yeah, right there.
It's bigger, but it's not any clearer.
Right there that we shaved out to provide the storage. And there's a chart on the lower right-hand side. Yeah, right there.
I remember.
That goes foot by foot on how much was filled and how much we provided and shaved out. So you can see that the totals match fairly closely at a foot by foot elevation basis.
Okay, so that's outside the floodplain, the proposed compensatory storage? Okay, I think that was the issue. They were trying to do it within the floodplain.
But is that within the buffer?
Yeah, they showed me the plan that they had originally, and I told them we could do a little better.
Okay, thank you. That's good.
Yeah.
Is the
That's
area
when surveyors do engineering work.
Right, yeah, no, I know.
Is the area that's being carved out within the buffer zone of the pond, bank, or wetland, or whatever it is associated?
I'm having, if you're directing a question to me, I couldn't hear you.
The area that's getting carved out, is there clearing involved in that? And also, is that area within the buffer zone of the wetland?
Right where the cursor is the buffer zone for the wetland.
A 100-foot buffer?
Steve, yes, there are trees proposed to be removed. They're outside of the buffer zone and they're outside of the floodplain.
Outside 100 is, can't say anything on that.
Right, that's the 100, so if they're in here, then they're outside of it.
How big is that area of compensatory storage?
You got me on that one.
There's a little chart, if we could just see it.
There's totally
Actually,
a chart.
If you look over at the chart, I think it's still in the area.
Sorry, we're giggling because we have a figure and we can make it bigger, but we can't make it more legible.
I'm sleepy, that's why I'm giggling.
Yeah, so it would be, the floodplain filled is,
and I can't see.
Compensatory storage is 6,643. Yeah.
What?
643.
6,643 square feet. It's a big area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with that number?
It's one of these. Oh, it's one of these numbers.
For just the garage? Compensatory storage?
No, he's asked for the square footage of disturbance, I thought.
Oh.
No, square footage of compensatory storage.
Right, it's 6,643.
No.
Square.
No, just, we'll get the square feet first.
Yeah, so it's the 6,600.
Okay. Of compensatory storage.
That's the area of it, yes. And then the volume is the 9,600 cubic feet.
What?
How will that be revegetated? I guess I can only ask about within the wetland or within the buffer zone.
They're there.
Why?
In the buffer zone, how will
can't
that be
see anything.
revegetated?
It'll be loam and seeded.
And does that go right to the property boundary?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because that's how much they're filling.
I'm a little confused. I thought the house is there already.
There's a house. they're
How
putting
is
on
the
an addition.
compensatory storage calculated?
It's equivalent, isn't it? That's how much space they filled.
You're filling that much?
For every cubic foot of storage per foot of elevation, you calculate out.
Yeah, okay.
So then you have to provide that amount at that elevation somewhere else on site, so that when the flood water comes in,
It doesn't
and
go in
sees the
front of it.
garage, it has another area to the side of it at that same elevation.
Okay, you're gonna have to word your question differently than Tracy. I can't help you.
Storage volume is provided.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
So the house is existing, so that's, even if we're raising it up, it still takes up space in the floodplain, so that's an existing condition. We're treating the proposed garage and the proposed addition in the fill that it's going to encompass.
I guess I didn't realize the fill. I know why you're doing the compensatory storage and how you calculate it, but I didn't realize that there was so much fill.
Well, if you
So-
look at that house there, we're raising that house up 5 feet, putting a foundation under it.
Oh.
Garage, to make the floor elevations work with the garage elevations, and they want to be able to walk straight from the garage into their new house into the finished floor. The garage slab had to come up, so we had to fill to get up to that elevation.
Okay, and then where jurisdictionally, we're only nicking the existing house corner and
No,
a little, is it right there?
Yeah, it is, but the water's over here.
Yeah. So
Two
jurisdictionally,
jurisdictional limits on this. One, the floodplain, and one is the actual, the
wetland.
BBW.
The wetland, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes words are hard.
You said the house is getting raised?
We're
5
there
feet?
too.
Yes. Yes, the house is getting raised up.
Yep. There's a lot going on here.
There's a lot going on.
And do you have a groundwater elevation? No?
No, that's why we're keeping, basically there's a 3-foot crawl space underneath the house now.
Yeah.
We're keeping that elevation of that crawl space because it does not get water in that crawl space now. And we're lifting the house up to provide an 8-foot or 7.5-foot foundation. But we're starting it at the existing elevation of the basement slab that's there now. That's why we're going up and not down.
No, I hear you. It's a lot of fill.
Okay. So I guess we could, wait till we get the forms, the correct forms submitted.
I would like to see a better plan in the folder, because Tracy and I are struggling.
And then we address,
Even if it's that plan that we're looking at right now, I'd like that in the folder.
I was going to ask that very thing at the end of the meeting,
what?
that we have a copy of the plans here for our meetings.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, well, and that's the
Steve?
thing, for some of these items, when I have the plan in the folder on the computer, I can look at it, but this one I don't even have.
Yeah, it's like a
You have
picture.
I don't want to bring my laptop
'Cause
and
it's
be
a
looking at my
JPEG.
laptop and trying
Yeah.
to look at the screen up there. It just really gets goofy.
Yeah.
Is the plan in the folder now?
No.
No.
We don't have anything here.
All I added was the,
He just put it,
Oh, no.
It's
we would
right
like a
there.
hard copy. If we're gonna have to be here in person,
Yeah.
we'd like a hard copy in the room
Yeah,
for
it's-
each plan, each,
right.
You want me to bring it down?
no, that's okay. No, I think,
If I had known you were in the building, I would have asked that, yes. I didn't realize.
you didn't realize the blinds behind him? You didn't, no.
We don't know what his house
You
looks
didn't
like.
see- You didn't see they matched this?
Okay, you have to calm down, Tracy. There you are.
Sorry.
Okay.
We're in a meeting.
Yep, all
Okay.
right, great. So what are we doing with this?
Public, and I think we want to continue to see.
I am fairly certain we want to continue. Oh, yeah, no, this is a public hearing. Does anyone from the public have any comments on this plan?
No.
Thanks.
Steve, anything else besides the DEP comment?
No.
Okay. So,
All right.
do we want to continue, do we want to?
I'm going to entertain a motion to continue.
I move that we continue the meeting.
All right, to August 2nd at 7 PM.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mike. Roll call vote.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Harris, aye.
T-shirt guy.
Thank you, Tracy.
Okay.
All right, that is all of our business for
Hi,
today.
everybody.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
So at the August 2nd, basically the outstanding item is to get that form corrected, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we can handle that.
Yeah, I'm gonna, now that I have this plan, I'm gonna review it, but I can't imagine I'd have anything else,
Yeah, we didn't quite see the revised plan.
so.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you very
we
much.
should be ready.
Yep.
Steve can maybe pre-draft the decision so that we can have it ready.
Have what?
Have the decision ready?
Yeah, you want me to have that typed up?
Yeah, please.
I like the way you think, Tracy.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too,
Night.
good night. Can we go off air
I'll entertain a motion to close.
to adjourn?
I'll entertain a motion.
Ask Steve if he has anything else.
Oh, yes, Steve, do you have anything else?
I'm good.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
No more rain.
Second.
Seconded. Roll call vote.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Thanks.
Mark Mungem, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night.